Good day, folks. It's Manny De Freitas here again at our weekly podcast. Please remember to subscribe and like, because it'll help with our algorithms and get more people to get our message that we're trying to get out there. Today's been a very difficult day for us. We were in session today trying to fire the public protector and appoint a new one. And of course, the ANC don't like opposition, don't like people to disagree with them, don't like the opposition parties, and so we had no choice but to walk out. But anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about today. As usual, I'm interested in talking about our South. What is going on? What are the issues that are taking place, and what are we doing about it? Firstly, I just want to say that I had a meeting with our councillors this week, and they are emotional wrecks. I think it's very sad how some residents treat our councillors. They are rude. They somehow think that councillors are more powerful than what they are. They keep on claiming to me the councillors are lying, and I keep on saying, why would they? What would be the objective for them to lie on anything? Because you're going to get caught out very quickly, and also it serves no purpose. Information that is provided is relayed through our councillors. The root of the problem is a government in Johannesburg that simply isn't working. And we can see it on a daily basis. Our areas, those of us who grew up and know the South very well, will remember what a pleasant area it was, no matter what suburb we're talking about, whether it's the so-called new South or the old South. It made no difference, because there were great areas to live in and to work in and to socialize and exist in. And so we're seeing, for example, icons of the South. Preringa, which is a restaurant that has been there for 3 generations now, well over 40 years, has had no choice but to leave and to go somewhere else in the city that is a little safer. It's very, very sad indeed. Most of us know the Preringa very well. In my case, I often invite guests that are visiting Johannesburg to come and have a meal at Preringa, because it is a unique experience, great food, and a wonderful vibe. And it is very sad that we have to say goodbye to Preringa, who will be leaving our area and is in the process of leaving. I'm very sad about that, because these are just signs, these are concrete signs of what a government that is allowing itself to be a failed state is allowing to happen. And these are the consequences. Hi everyone, it's a bittersweet moment. A very favorite Preringa restaurant, a restaurant that I grew up in coming to, is going to be leaving the South and going to the North. And with me is Belinda, whose surname I can't pronounce, but Belinda is the councillor in that area that Preringa is moving to. It's very sad, an indictment on the South, that this government hasn't made sure that we ensure that the area is safe so that Preringa can continue operating in La Rochelle, and it has to move to Melrose Arch. So a sad goodbye to Preringa. Our loss is the North's gain.
Yeah.
So let's keep fighting for it.
Yeah, I must say it's a bit sad even driving here, seeing how the area has deteriorated, and there don't seem to be any efforts to even try and rehabilitate some of the areas. These are very historical areas. I mean, for example, this is an old prison, an old police station, and I just got to hear about some of the history. But obviously, I'm excited because they're moving into Melrose Arch, which is my ward. So they are definitely welcome. I'm glad that we're not losing them to a different city or a different province.
Even more reason why in next year people must vote DA, so that we can make the changes that are required.
Check.da.org.za and go and register. Get your aunties, your uncles, go and register.
Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody. What I am trying to say is these next elections are going to be so vital and so important, because it's going to be, for the first time, our 2024 is going to be the DA's 1994. We can take government over and start fixing the country in the way that we run our municipalities, DA municipalities that are run well, effectively. And again, I haven't had an answer. I challenge anybody to give me one example, just one, of a failed DA government, irrespective of what tier of government we're talking about. And so, as I was talking to our councillors this week, they're telling me that we continue to fight, and we do continue to fight with all the issues. Water is still an issue in many parts of the south. Can you believe it? 3 months, 2 months, 8, 9 weeks down the line where people haven't had water and are treated like real third-class citizens. And unbelievably, there are residents who blame the councillors, as if it's the councillors that are running the city, as if it is the councillors that are part of this corrupt coalition that exists in Johannesburg. They simply refuse to connect dots and see what is really going on. So I urge you to consider thinking about, in the next elections in May next year, to, if you're not registered, become registered, get registered. If you've moved since the last elections, please go and register. And later on in this podcast, we'll be providing you information on various opportunities this weekend again, where you can meet our councillors, you can meet myself, as we've been doing the last few weeks. Come and join us, come and say hi, and get registered, get some information that you may need, and join us this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun, and I enjoy meeting people. So please do come and join us at one of the tables that we'll be having throughout the constituency. So we haven't let it lie. We continue to fight the water issue, and we've got everybody that we can think of involved, including the provincial legislature or the provincial parliament. Our provincial leader is also working on it, as you'll see, where our provincial leader, Solim Samanga, came to the south to actually see for himself the situation, the bad situation that we're in, people still with no water. And so we're taking it to the legislature as well.
Complaining on social media or calling a councillor and complaining endlessly is not going to help. Sign our petition. Let's get an action going so that we can then ensure that rainwater does what it needs to do, so that we can make sure that the Minister of Water and Sanitation do what needs to be done to ensure that these reservoirs don't run empty, that you don't run out of water.
And so I ask you just to be absolutely, unemotional, completely unbiased, and completely open to what is really going on. Which is the political party that you see always around, that is always fighting for your issues, that is on the ground on a daily basis. Not any of the other parties, not the ANC, not any of the opposition parties, but it is the DA, it is our councillors, it is our activists, it's myself that are out fighting our issues on a daily basis. And yet people still criticize us and tell us how terrible we are. Then I don't get it. And so what I have told those same people is then go to those parties that you're supporting and get them to see if they will be working as hard as we do, trying to make the difference and make things better for South Africa. We're here at Xavier Place, and we've had an extensive tour of what's going on here. It's clear that this beautiful facility is built, we guess, about 30 years ago, because I remember I was very young knowing about this place. And it was a beautiful place to come and retire, where there was control. You had to make sure that you qualified to come to these complexes, and people were really looked after, our elderly that deserve to be looked after. But today, due to the local government's, Johannesburg City Council's lack of maintenance, just the basics of making sure that maintenance is upheld, that the buildings are maintained, the gutters that Councillor Stewart has been working so hard to get repaired and replaced, which he shouldn't be doing. He shouldn't have to work so hard to get these gutters fixed, because it should be a norm, it should be a natural part of the maintenance and repair cycle. And that we find many of these things really dilapidated. And so we're going to be fighting both on the city and provincial and national level to see what we can do to just get a system going to make sure these facilities are properly maintained. But there's a lot more that we discovered this morning, and I'm going to ask Councillor Stuart Murray to tell us a little bit more.
Thank you, Manny, for coming, and I would like to thank legislation for being out here. It's really nice to have the different spheres of government coming out. The social ills that we have here, and they vary from elderly people that are not behaving themselves, people that are unruly. We've got people here that shouldn't be staying here, and the kids that are staying here. Those are major issues for the elderly. The elderly just want to live in peace and quiet. They've come here to relax and retire. Now they have all these social ills which they have to contain with, and it's unfortunately, but we have to try on all levels what we can do to get this kind of problem eradicated out of this. And this one is still a fairly all right unit, but or complex. But Annie Burger is in a way more different position, and it's starting to become unruly and ungovernable, and we have to step in to get this sorted out. You can see in the background up there, the gutters have been changed, and that was due to a social program that we got the gutters changed and repaired, which were very badly damaged here at Xavier. And I would just like to say to everybody that's here, hopefully we can get more done for you in the area with combined joint venture projects.
So I do urge you, come and join us on the weekend, where we will be spending some time out in the field. Getting people to register is so important, that we get people to register. There are so many unregistered people out there. If we can get everybody to register and then to vote, we could actually win government in the next year, in the next few months, and imagine the changes that we could start making in the same way that we've done in various municipalities, like down the road in Midvaal, or big tiers of government like the Western Cape. And for example, even in Tshwane, which we currently run, things are really changing in a short time that Mayor Celia Brink has been there. There have been changes, despite the ANCs and their alliance partners' very hard work at trying to destabilize the local council. We are making some changes, and that is an absolute fact.
In this election, only the registered have the power. If you're tired of load shedding, register to vote. If you're tired of corruption, register to vote. If you're tired of the rising cost of living, register to vote. And if you're tired of a government that's continuously working against you, register to vote. Go to check.da.org.za and let's give power to the registered.